This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. It's life in football. We are life in football.
You are now listening to the Life in Football podcast. Check out the new website, lifeinfootball.com. Once again, the website is lifeinfootball.com. Thanks for listening.
Third and long. Pretzel and traveling down and sacked again. Jamar Enzor.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the Life in Football podcast, baby. I'm your host, Mike Fee.
And this your coach, Cole Moore. You know we loving life and enjoying football.
Right there on the big time play, that was Jamar Enzor playing against Ohio State. Now, he did his thing, and he representing out the small but great city of Havana, Florida, representing Gaston County, baby. And I saw a lot from this young man. Matter of fact, he was one of the smoothest cats I ever seen with a basketball, y'all. No lie. I'm talking about he'll come down the court. I know this is a football podcast, but he was a top-notch basketball athlete as well. And he was a dog out there on that football field wearing number 4, knocking at your door. And at the same time, he went levels. He did his thing in high school for the Havana Northside Gladiators, baby. Then he went to the University of Cincinnati, played linebacker, started wearing number 46. He was there on teams that did great things. He was a part of a 2004 Fort Worth Bowl championship team. He also went on here to the NFL, had a little short stint with the Baltimore Ravens and the New York Jets. This guy comes from a family of athletes. Brother balling, sister come down the court, cross you up and make it hit the ground. Now, I'm just giving y'all a little insight on a guy I got to see in person, and we actually got coached by some of the same people. My high school head coach was named Rodell Thomas. That was his high school head coach as well. Now, I came after him, and he was at Cincinnati. He left Cincinnati in 2004. Some of his coaches was named Pat Narduzzi, who's the head coach at University of Pitt right now, and Mark D'Antonio, who was the head coach at Cincinnati at that time. He went on to Michigan State. Now, both of them guys also coached me as well, because I went to Cincinnati for one semester. Now, before I just keep on running my mouth, we got to let Simo bring the king of the South on.
How you doing, Jamar?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Good to be on here, man.
Hey, it's a blessing to have you on. Now, Mike done threw that out there, so I got to go on alley-hoop right up off of it. So you was a balling basketball, balling football in high school. How were you able to choose which one? Like, take the scholarship in basketball or take the scholarship in football? Like, how were you able to decide that?
Man, it just outweighed my love for basketball, which was kind of crazy. But I had more scholarship offers in football than I had in basketball. It was mostly like small schools that offered me in basketball. So that's what was the leading force in making my decision.
Now, with you picking Cincinnati, who else you had that was on you, and what made Cincinnati like, man, you know what, this gonna be my home for about 4 or 5 years?
So initially in the process, 11th grade year, towards the end, going into my 12th grade year, I had like pretty big schools recruit me, like Florida, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Kentucky, Iowa State. A lot of those guys was recruiting me. So towards the end of my 12th grade year, my grades was kind of teetering on that 2.5 line. So I wasn't qualified. I wasn't eligible. So a lot of schools backed off. And I hadn't taken the ACT. So a lot of schools backed off. So when I finally took the ACT and I worked on my grades and got my grades up, Cincinnati was actually in town looking at one of my other teammates, Jermaine Wilson. And somebody told him, like, hey, yes, a guy in Havana you might want to check out. I don't think he signed yet. So they came and they watched me play basketball. They watched me in basketball practice. And he offered me a scholarship right there.
Man, that's crazy. You know what? I always wonder how you ended up at Cincinnati. And before I continue on, man, I just got to give my props to you and the flowers to you because I played linebacker and you was a special athlete, man, coming out of Havana, Florida. And around that time, you're right, Cincinnati was recruiting a lot of guys from this area. Guys like George Murray. Um, Let me see who else I
Jermaine
can remember who.
Wilson,
Yeah, Jermaine Wilson, Terry
Damon
Arnold.
Murphy. Yeah.
Damon Murphy, yeah. And see, these were some ballers coming in straight, straight from the area, from the Big Bend area, doing their thing. So how was that to have some, I guess, brothers, the fellowship from the, similar area you was from?
Man, it saved me because I was homesick when I first got there. And all of us were, but we kind of held each other up and held together. And we was just like, man, we all we got. Like, you know what I mean? So we kind of banded together and just tried to push each other through and challenge each other. But all of us was like ready to go. We was ready to come back down south. We ain't like no Ohio. Like, nah, I'm ready to go. I'm from Florida. I like Florida weather. I like Florida girls. So I'm ready to go back home. So we just kind of just kind of bonded together, man, and stuck in there, and we brought each other through.
Hey, Enzo, and too, man. Now I was there one semester, man. And I came out of JUCO, and the reason I ended up coming, I had a teammate of mine by the name of Marcus Brooks, and he was from Cincinnati, and he was telling me at that time, Cincinnati pretty much all their linebackers was leaving, and I know for a fact I ended up talking to the coach, and he was like, "Yeah, man, all our linebackers, our star linebackers leaving. All of them pretty much had graduated before they started season." Before they started their senior season. And, they were just giving me a lot of good information. That was Coach Pat Narduzzi. And to just hear you say, like, man, it was hard for you, but, man, you end up doing your thing, just looking out at it. And I hear you say, like, hey, man, I want to go back to the house and this and that. But you put your staple in up there, man, because, you was almost a legend from, not just in Gaston County, but up there from what I was hearing, because I remember a lot of the coaches, especially Coach Pat Narduzzi, he would make jokes because how I would talk. And he was talking about, oh, he sounded like Enzor, talking about, he would say that. But, like, give me that impact of how that became, that brotherhood when y'all was up there, not just the guys from Florida, but, with all them guys like you, Jamie Murphy, Trent Cole, and all them type guys.
Man, we just wanted more for the university, man. It was like, looking at where the program was before we got there and looking at where it is now, that was our aim. We just wanted to build a program. That was one of the main reasons why I elected to go to Cincinnati. That's one of the main reasons why I elected to go to Cincinnati, because they football history before that, nobody even knew. I never even knew Cincinnati had a football team before I got recruited by them. So having that in mind, seeing other schools flourish, knowing that it's going to take us to join together and just kind of push each other, challenge each other, that kind of brought us closer. So, what I'm saying, with all that, having locker room talks, being out there on that field, sweating together, bleeding together, crying together, just grinding together, man. That stuff bring you closer.
Now, how did it feel actually getting to make it to the NFL? Because, that's everybody's dream, but you actually made it. So how did that feel?
Initially, man, it was just kind of crazy. I never even thought about playing NFL football. I never even saw past college, to be honest with you. When I played, I just played in the moment. I just love the game so much that I just played in the moment. So it was just every game, every play for me. So when the opportunity came, it was, it was surreal, man. It was just like, dang, I didn't really look at it like it was that big. I was just like, okay, I'm getting an opportunity, but everybody else just kept reminding me, like, I don't think you understand, like, the stage, like, you know what I mean? Because this is a big accomplishment. And the more I played, the more I was around guys, the more I looked at it from a standpoint of, what I mean? Just being humble to be there and being thankful and having that opportunity.
Well, now, from going from the Cincinnati to the NFL, was it that much difference? I was like, oh, man, this it is what it is. It's very similar.
It's similar from a physical standpoint, but mentally, it's worlds apart. Like everybody always question or always, yeah, it's much faster in the NFL. Well, it's faster. The more you know, like if you ain't out there on the field thinking, you can play faster. So them guys, they really put that time in the understanding the plays and studying their opponent. So a lot of times guys know what's coming before it comes. So it's fast in the sense of guys knowing what to do. But as far as athleticism, as far as all that stuff there, it's pretty much the same. It wasn't that big of a difference for me.
Now, Enzo, I gotta get to the nitty gritty, and I want to get your background because a lot of people may not even know what Havana, Florida is. And just to put y'all on point, man, Havana and Shanks High School had some of the best the basketball games I ever seen. I'm talking about the crowd packed out. You know it's finna be a good game, and just kind of break it down to the people how it was for you growing up with you and your family. You know, like I said, a family for the athletes, and just coming out of Havana. You know, and you know how it was for you.
It was tough for me because everybody played sports. Like my sister ran track and played basketball. She was well known for running track. She went to Europe to the Junior Olympics in high school, ran track in Europe, and was heavily recruited in high school. My other brother, Douglas, he got a scholarship to Alabama State, played football there. My other two brothers, they played football, played basketball. So it was tough, man. It was like I got a lot of shoes to fill, man. Like these some big shoes to fill. But it was time. It was just like, all right, well, it's either, be great or bust. And coming from a small town like Havana, you don't really have a lot of resources, so you don't know a lot. And so that's all I knew was my siblings and what they did. I didn't know anything outside of that. And then, having that rival with Shanks, man. Shanks got athletes after athletes on top of athletes, man. You got to bring your best when you play against Shanks. It's always a challenge. It was always the best games ever, man. You can have 30 other games and you look for it's basketball or football. You're going to get their best and you got to make sure you get them your best. It's just like, it's a different level. I wish people could really experience that now because I feel like people are being slighted or cheated, man, because it's so much tradition wrapped up in the rivalry. It's so much tradition. And I just feel like a lot of people shouldn't know about it. And I just wish people to this day would have that experience to either, just to attend a game, either whether it's basketball, football, or whatever.
Man, that's so true, cause it's like I could remember growing up and just being around and, just seeing different things for us, even the football jamboree, how they used to have it in the big basketball game, man, and all the excitement that it brought to not only those cities, but to the whole county. And, it just was an amazing event all around. Now, I got to get to this, man. Trent Cole, man, that was one. I remember when I got to Cincinnati and they had put some film on. I noticed this guy every play getting off that ball. So I never seen that before in my life, man. Every play, that's why it wasn't no surprise to me when he took off in the NFL like that. Cause y'all were getting ready to leave up out of Cincinnati, but the technique or however he was doing it, just getting off that line like that, man. How I was playing with him.
Man, it was fun, man. Trent made you go hard because you knew every play Trent is gonna go as hard as he can. We call him Scrap Iron because he tough as nails, man, and he gonna give his all every single play. And the craziest thing is people see him in games, the way he practiced was the same way. Like coaches had to tell him, like, pull back, Trent. But Trent knew one speed, and that's 100 miles per hour. And he played practice, and he just went. He you know what I'm saying? For me, a lot of them guys though, we so many talented guys on that team, on that defense. that it was crazy. But I enjoyed playing with all them cats, man. But Trent was special.
And then with you playing up on the Mark D'Antonio, Rick Minner, Pat Narduzzi, Mike Tressel, how is it for you to see, especially right now with Pat Narduzzi going up and being the head coach at Pitt? Because let me give y'all the background story now. Pat Narduzzi ain't no joke. That boy there gonna snap, run around the field, going crazy. He a teenager, a 12-year-old kid almost, man, just running from sideline to sideline, screaming. And the whole Cincinnati football program for the defense, he knew every position backwards and forward. Yeah, I know he was a defensive coordinator, but man, he was almost like a maniac at the same time, man. Give us a funny story with him and how it was for you seeing him go on and get a head coaching job at Pitt.
Well, it was good to see him getting a head coaching job. I knew it was well deserving, because and he's knowledgeable about it, and he tried to do everything he could to help us out. And even if I call him to this day, he'll do whatever he can to help me out with whatever I got going on. So he's a good person all in all and a good coach. So it was definitely good to see him get a head coaching position. But we had, during my tenure at Cincinnati, man, we had so many different coaches, man. It's like from Mike Tomlin to Narduzzi to Tressel to Coach Griner to Coach Rocker, like all these guys. Coach Rocker was a Outland Trophy winner at Auburn back in the day, man. We had so many coaches. I've had a different linebacker coach, a different coordinator every single year I was at Cincinnati. So we had a high turnover of coaches. So I got a lot of knowledge from different people that helped me understand the game a whole lot better. And with Coach Narduzzi, oh Lord, Coach Narduzzi is running around yelling, screaming. He done got a broomstick, swinging around in the air in practice, just yelling out crazy stuff, man. Narduzzi came in every day like he done had a whole pot of coffee by himself, like nonstop every day. And it never changed.
You ain't lying, man. Now, I heard a story one time. You thought you were finna go to the Olympics, I guess, and you were doing some flips and end up breaking your arm or your leg, man. I know you're an athlete, but what was going through your head that day, man?
Man, I was in third grade when I did that, man. I was just learning how to do backflips. Like I didn't really know what I was doing. We kind of, I used to go up in the new projects and the old projects and go up there. We old mattress out of the dumpster, and we'll learn how to flip on it. So that's how I learned how to flip. So the first time I tried to do it without the mattress, but people always would ask me to do flips though, because they like, how high I get.
Oh man, you was and I'm gonna say out of my top 5 Gaston County athletes, I gotta put you in there, cause I mean Ray, he gonna always be my number 1. Now I ain't gonna put nobody no particular number after him, but you in my top 5 hand down, cause it man, so many athletes came through Gaston County back then. It's just amazing to see, and I think that's something we all got to get back to. Is probably reaching out to them guys and letting them see and letting them know, like, hey man, y'all come from Kings, y'all y'all got a rich history that y'all may not know of. And
yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these kids need to know more about the Willie Simmons, the Leroy Smiths, the Willie McLeods, the who else? Dexter Jacksons, the Abdul Howards, even way back in the day to Johnny Walker. Man, I grew up watching Johnny Walker play. Man, Johnny Walker was the best thing I've ever seen on the basketball court. Man, Johnny Walker. Now you talking about a legend. Johnny Walker is like the number. That's my number 1.
And another thing people may not know, for Cincinnati, they got one of the best football stadiums to me in college football, because it sits smack down right in the middle of campus. And you could walk right up on it and not even know it's there. I promise you, you could be walking around the campus and not even know, like probably 3 steps over, that's the stadium right there. So, it just was a tremendous sight for everything. I ended up leaving because I was trying to really get me that scholarship offer, man. But, you know, just seeing you there, that even encouraged me. But I'm gonna go ahead and open the floor up to you, man. Give give your closing words or any advice, to young players out there or anything that you want to share.
Yeah, man. I mean, to any of the young players, regardless of where you come from, with me coming from a small town like Havana of 1,400 people with no resources, you just have to keep, and your work ethic will determine how far you go. A lot of people like to focus on talent, but work ethic overshadows talent any day. You get somebody that work hard and push through whatever it is they experience, I guarantee you they'll be successful in whatever it is they're trying to do. So, it's been for me to, share my story, because I feel like, it's a unique story, but at the same time, it's my story. And, a lot of people have similar situations where they come from small towns and they feel like they can't make it, or they didn't get the recruits that they felt like they deserved, or they didn't get the playing time, or whatever they felt like they needed. But you know what I mean? It should just it should just motivate you to push harder and work harder in order to achieve whatever it is you set out to achieve, man. So it was a pleasure and an honor, man, being on here talking to y'all guys, sharing this story, man. And I appreciate what y'all doing, man.
Yes, sir. We thank you. Y'all, that was the legendary big time baller. Oh, Enzo, hold on. Before I get off, I got one more thing to ask you. Now, somebody told me that you was on the front of the Slam. Now, y'all, this the big basketball magazine if y'all don't know. Now, somebody told me you was on the front of the Slam magazine holding the rim in your hand. Now, I don't know if they, probably was tripping that day when they said that, because I know I saw LeBron James on the front of this magazine too. So, what you on the front of that?
No, I wasn't on the front of it. It was a picture, and it was called Breakdown Magazine. It wasn't Slam. It was a magazine called Breakdown. And inside they had it. They had a picture of me from when I broke the goal at Walker Ford.
Oh, that boy broke the goal. Well, hey, y'all heard it right here, man. That's legendary Jamar Enzor. And for all the young kids out there, if you want to be successful, follow some of these steps that y'all hearing in these podcasts, man. This guy came from small Havana, Florida, Gaston County representative, gladiator, baby, in Havana Northside. And he did his thing. He went on to do his thing in college, and he had a chance at the NFL. Y'all listen to your parents. Try the best you can when you're in school. Be determined. Get that knowledge, and not just the school knowledge, but kind of learn on your own how to get involved in the recruiting process and get yourself in your own school. Because y'all see how he got blessed with an opportunity, and there's more opportunities out there for everybody. And just like he said, that's his story. What will be yours? I got to give a shout out to Jamar Enzor again, and I got to give a shout out to his parents for raising such a great young man, and the whole University of Cincinnati, man, for everything they're doing, for us football wise, and letting people know it's not just basketball school, it's a football school. And I got to give a shout out to all the guys who I end up running to up there, even the guys from the local area. Like I said, just shout out Jamar Enzor, Trent Cole, George Murray, who are Terry Arnold, Jamie Murphy, John Boyd, Ant Williams, who are Angelo Craig, Antonio Horton, Anthony Hope, and lastly my boy Leo Morgan. We used to eat at the Chinese restaurant up there, so I got to give a shout out to him too. But I'm gonna leave y'all how I always leave y'all. Keep your head up and not down, or else you'll fall to the ground. This is the Life in Football podcast. Catch you next time.
This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. It's life in football. We are life in football.